always been zooming along the fast track. She dropped out of high school and got married at 16. Her husband, Jack Muldowney, had a passion for cars. He built them, fixed them, and raced them. And after Shirley learned to drive, she discovered a love of racing too. At first, it was just for fun, but the more she raced, the more serious she became about the sport. Drag racing usually takes place on a straight, quarter-mile track with two cars racing head-to-head. It's about 15 seconds of excitement at speeds upwards of 250 miles per hour. When the cars zip past the finish line, a parachute shoots out the back of the car to help slow it down. Shirley was the first woman to enter the world of professional drag racing. She received her license from the National Hot Rod Association in 1965. It was tough being a woman in a male-dominated sport. She found it almost impossible to find sponsors to help defray the costs involved. It was also hard to find crew members to work on her car. But Shirley refused to be intimidated or give up, and people changed their minds when she started winning and winning and winning. Fans also loved her because she made quite a sight at racetracks. Her car was painted hot pink, which matched her pink uniform and helmet. She wanted people to know there was a woman racing. During her career, as she piled up wins, she gained respect and the nickname the First Lady of Drag Racing. But racing is a dangerous sport, and Shirley found that out the hard way. During a race in Montreal, Canada in 1984, a front tire tube snapped, her wheels locked up, and her car spun and somersaulted down the track. She survived, barely. Emergency personnel spent hours scrubbing her with wire brushes to remove the grease and grit from her skin before she could undergo surgery to repair her shattered legs, broken pelvis, and crushed fingers. Doctors weren't sure she would ever walk again, let alone drive a race car. Two things happened after her accident. Improvements were made to racing wheels and tires to make them safer, and Shirley surprised the doctors. Not only did she walk after several surgeries and 18 months of grueling physical therapy, but she returned to racing in 1986. Shirley was inducted into the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame in 2006 after a long and speedy career. Shirley Muldowney. Sophie Blanchard, brave balloonist. By all accounts, Sophie was a shy, nervous, and skittish young girl. She didn't like loud noises or riding in horse-drawn carriages, and that makes her chosen profession even more surprising. She married the much older Jean-Pierre Blanchard when she was just a teenager. He was a talented balloonist, but a lousy businessman. He needed something new that would attract the ticket-buying public to help him pay off debts. He decided a female balloonist would draw big crowds, and Sophie agreed to give it a try. She made her first ascent in 1804 and fell in love. While Sophie was fearful on land, she was calm, bold, and fearless in the sky. After Pierre's death, Sophie continued to put on demonstrations across Europe, even drifting over the Alps. Ballooning was an incredibly dangerous endeavor at that time. A hot air balloon has a fire that needs to be stoked constantly to keep the balloon aloft, so Sophie switched to a balloon powered by hydrogen gas. But that didn't lessen the danger. One wayward spark could turn the balloon into a blazing inferno. To Sophie, the thrill of ballooning and entertaining audiences was worth the risk, and using gas enabled her to fly higher, stay up longer, and kept her hands free. She loved flying at night, sometimes all night. She would attach parachutes to little baskets of fireworks and let them float down to the ground. Audiences loved the sizzling, flickering spectacle and the dainty and daring balloonist. Sophie became such a beloved performer of Napoleon Bonaparte that he proclaimed her to be the aeronaut of official festivals. She flew over his wedding reception, and when his son was born, she soared over Paris and dropped birth announcements to the people below. She also set off fireworks from her balloon for his baptism. Several times, Sophie lost consciousness while ascending too high. Temperatures could be freezing, and one night she fell asleep in the balloon. crash landed in a marsh and nearly drowned before rescuers could pull her out. Sophie bested the danger and defied social norms, stereotypes, and even gravity itself to prove that women could successfully achieve their high-flying dreams. Sophie Blanchard. Valentina Tereshkova, cool cosmonaut. Valentina was born in 1937 in a poor village in central Russia where her parents had immigrated from Belarus. Her father died when she was just a toddler, and life was tough for her and her mother. But Valentina always looked to the sky and forward to her future. When she was 22 years old, Valentina took up skydiving. She loved it and had over 125 jumps to her name when she set her sights even higher. During this time, the United States and the Soviet Union were in an unofficial competition known as the space race. Each country wanted to prove it had the most advanced space exploration program in the world. Each country one upped the other to implement new technology and make its way into outer space. Valentina was working in a textile mill, but still wanted to do her part. She wrote to the Soviet Space Commission and asked if she could become a cosmonaut. The odds were against her. No women had ever been in the space program. She had no scientific background. She had no flight training. But she was a skilled parachutist, and that helped Russian Premier Nikita Khrushchev choose her for an intense 18-month-long secret training session. Valentina learned to fly a jet and studied rocket theory and spacecraft engineering. There were also grueling physical challenges, such as being spun in a centrifuge, enduring weightless flights, and long periods of isolation. On June 16, 1963, when she was 26 years old, Valentina was shot into space in Vostok 6. During the launch, she shouted, "Hey, Sky, take off your hat. I'm coming to see ya." Her radio name was Chaika, which is Russian for seagull. It was fitting because she soared through space for over 70 hours, orbiting the Earth 48 times. During her trip, she took photos and kept a log of the effects of spaceflight on her body. Besides air sickness, she faced 2 glitches during her mission. First, she forgot a toothbrush. She made do with toothpaste and her finger. The second glitch was more serious. Valentina realized there was a problem with the control panel. If Mission Control couldn't fix the computer program, she wouldn't be able to return to Earth. Instead, she would have floated off into space forever. The problem was fixed, and she successfully ejected from the capsule 4 miles from the Earth's surface. Valentina was hailed as a national hero and proved that the sky is not the limit for a woman who has set her sights high. Valentina Tereshkova.